Sir, rejoining, huh? Unable to, otherwise to rejoin, sir. Rejoin otherwise.
Join, sir. Can you accept it?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you have joined it. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Very good morning. So, welcome to the funding series for entrepreneurs. So, before let's make this session interactive rather than I'm speaking and you people just listening. So, make it more interactive so that you can understand reality very well. So, how you are finding yourself today? Anyone? Hello, I am with you guys.
Hello.
Hello, yes.
Yes, sir. Good morning. We
Very
are
good.
very excited to know about the series, funding series.
Okay.
I
So,
am
what is
keen
that?
interested in entrepreneurship, and currently I am doing PhD on startups. My
Okay.
topic is startups,
Okay.
financial issues regarding startups. So
Okay.
we are very keen interested regarding this topic.
Sure, sure. So, just I think Deepika Garo has given me an overview brief what I'm into. So, I'll just give a quick recap. So, I'm having 6 years of experience. Out of those 4 years, I've been an entrepreneur. Now, working for an ICICI bank as a wealth manager, where I'll be dealing investment banking plus wealth propositions for HNA clients and the startups. So let's understand what do you understand by entrepreneurship. So let's stick to the topic. So I'm not deviating anything from the funding series. But before getting into the funding series, let's explore what is the startup ecosystem and entrepreneurship is all about. So can anyone define what is entrepreneurship? Okay, let me take go through. So, see, entrepreneur is the one who believes that some idea or a product which can make people's life easier. So then he'll go forward and take the financial risk for hoping that he'll be gaining some profits out of building a business model. Okay, so I want to quote one famous quote from our late our Sri Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam sir. So don't read success stories, you will get only message. Read failure stories, you will get some idea to get success. So we are very fascinated about the present day startups like Facebook, Google, Amazon, and everyone wants to be on another Facebook and everyone wants to be on another Amazon. Now, so if everyone wants to read only success stories, and who will read the failure stories? So if you read success stories, you will get the motivation, definitely. But you don't understand the reality of building that startup and what could be the pain that entrepreneurs have gone through to start that startup. So now let's understand what is the startup ecosystem a decade ago. So can you tell me or a couple of startups that you're fascinated about or you want to see yourself to in that industry to start that startup? It can be any startup.
It's sir an academy.
An academy. Okay, so
Yes,
you want to see yourself in education field?
yes, sir.
Why so?
Actually, during the my initial level college time, we face so many challenges, and currently students are migrating from their small city, town, home city to urban area like the
Okay.
metropolitan city in order
Okay.
to meet their means quality education. But
Okay.
nowadays, through this channel as well as COVID situation,
Okay.
it's provide a lots of benefit to the students. Even it's also pocket budget courses as well.
Okay. So I can see one common thing in my slide and your example. You said it's an unacademy. So unacademy is basically a technological platform where you'll offer courses to the end users, right? Now, if you see the same slide, I was talking about the new technological evolutions and in the business. So if you take a 10 years or a decade ago, close around 2008 or 2007, uh, what is the rate of penetration of smart mobile phones or internet? I would say it's pretty less. Probably at that time, in some households, we are using GPRS only. Not even we are exposed to 2G or something. Now, eventually over the period of time, when the internet usage has been increased or the penetration of smartphones or mobiles or laptops, which has been increased, and this technological evolution has opened up the doors for new age entrepreneurs. When I say new age entrepreneurs, now once upon a time, when I say business, everyone thinks like petrol bunk, textile, then or you can say distribution, you can say some manufacturing, heavy oriented industries. Now, in this present scenario, even a small idea of selling a courses through an online platform is a business. Now we need to understand how the technological has been evolved over a period of time to cater the business the needs of the consumers. So here when I say consumer, it's we who are looking for new things at a easy go. So because even today if we want to switch on a fan, we don't want to get up from our chair and switch it on with a switch. We want a remote to just switch on that. So this is how the way that we are moving towards a comfort zone. So these are the ways that new age entrepreneurs can focus on how a technological thing can solve the pain point of an human life. So what is idea identification and validation? Now, someone has told me that I want to start an business which is similar to an academy. Now, how we are different from that an academy? Because another academy is already existing market. Then, if you want to start the same thing, what is your USP? What is your unique selling proposition? Because if you are looking for a funding or if you want to raise funding at an early stage or something, now you need to show some differentiating factor to the investor how your idea is different from others which are there existing in the market. Now let's understand how do we identify an idea and how do we validate this idea for a better funding. Now okay, can anyone tell me what is invention versus innovation? Why it is important for a startup to be an innovator or an inventor? Anyone? Okay, let me take you through this. What is invention and innovation? Now, let me say an innovator is the one who modify the idea which is already existing in the market. Now, that guy is nothing but an innovator. Now, who is an inventor? Inventor is the one, the guy who introduced a product or a service which is not available in the market. So let's take an example of Swiggy. So before Swiggy, probably there are 1 or 2 startups which are there in the market, but they could not able to shine or elevate their presence in the market. But when you consider Swiggy, I can say they have a first mover advantage in terms of user experience that they have been created and how is they can modify it. If you take the competitor of Zomato, I think probably Zomato recently they launched their IPO. Hello. Yes, someone wants to talk. Okay. So Zomato has recently launched an IPO. So IPO is nothing but an initial public offering. This is the one way of funding how a startup can acquire. Now, what is the difference? Swiggy has taken its movement and has launched its product into the market. Then later, Zomato was just a food reviewer platform. Before converting into a delivery service, they're a food reviewer platform. But wisely, they have innovated the product what Swiggy has invented already. So this is a difference between an invention versus innovation. Now, how do you identify a good idea? So here there are some of the examples now. So if you want to build a business model around any idea, now you need to think what is the problem that you're solving to an end user. So probably let's take an example of Redbus. Anyone knows the story of Redbus, what happened, how it has been started? Okay, so Mr. Funny, the founder of Redbus, one day he wants to travel to his hometown from Bangalore. Okay, because of busy festival schedule, I mean, he unable to reach his hometown, or he could not able to travel to his hometown. And with that regret, one fine morning he has got up there and he found that there are so many loopholes in the booking system where it is being dominated by the broker-led communities in booking systems. Now, he thought that if we can start a platform which can give a stinge of bookings with end consumer to and bus operators, so that itself can create an ease of booking. So we can see what is the Redbus status today. So likewise, there are few examples like Savan, Freshdesk, and Science Utsav and Campus Connect. All of these businesses have seen some sort of pain point in the user and they've identified those pain points. Then they have built a business around that. So if you are looking at sourcing any sort of funding, your idea is very important. So your idea need to solve your pain point and you need to identify whether it is suitable or not. Now, how do you validate your idea? What is the pain point that you are solving and what are you solving it for? So if you are solving it, for example, let's consider in Redbus example. Now the pain point here that he is trying to solve is the booking system for end user to a bus operator. Now what is he solving? He is solving the ease of booking for traveling from one place to other place through a technological platform. Then what is trying to solve? Ease of logistics or ease of communication between end user and the bus operator. Is there anyone else doing this in the market? Prior to this, there are few, but I would say Redbus is the first mover. And can you do it differently from them? So if already existing player there in the market, how well you can differentiate that existing player to your idea is very important. Otherwise, if you are doing the same, and what is your rationale that you want to take this business forward? If this rationale is not correct, then probably you may not get a right funding from a right group. Okay. can you charge your customer? If so, how much? So if you're solving a problem, you're trying to build a product around that, then you're trying to sell it to the consumer, and how gonna you charge them? So for example, if you're charging your customer, then how? Or if you're charging to your mediator or the person you're forwarding it to, then how? Then you need to identify these things. I think someone like is on. Can you put it on mute? I'm getting this. Hello. Yeah. Then you need to understand your target segment. Hello.
Yes, sir,
Balvin,
please,
can you
sir.
put your mic off?
Deepika ma'am,
Sir,
yeah, off your mic.
no, sir.
Okay, sir. I'll have.
So now you have identified a problem. Then you need to build this problem. Now you need to understand your STP. So what is STP here? Again, a new jargon. So segmentation, targeting, and positioning. How do you segment your audience? So based on your market, or based on your demographic, or based on your psychographic. So who are your persons, whether it's a students or a job, who are doing the job, or the government officials. So you need to understand whether your product or service, which market that you're catering into, are these people are the right to your product, if they're gonna buy your product or not. So this is how you need to look after each and everything. Then you need to assess that whether this business idea is a potential of generating the growth in the particular market with the particular size and segment, whether you can position this product into the market at a right fit. So you need to assess each and everything. Then you need to analyze your competitive advantages. For that, possibly we are using two models. One is, if you want to understand the industry, then we use Porter's 5 force model. Then if you want to understand your internal strengths, then you need to use a SWOT analysis. So what is an industry model is called Porter's 5 force model. Here the Porter's 5 force model, what it tells about is, you have an idea, you have a potential to generate the business. How do you look after the industry is this model will be dealing about. So when industry is at the center, you need to see whether you have a threat of new entrant out there or not when you start your business. So if there is a threat of new entrant, then I can say your idea is not foolproof. Anyone can imitate, anyone can generate business, and anyone can get funding. So you need to take your USP at the fullest, so that no one can copy your idea that easily. For an example, still today, Coca-Cola is leading the market. Why? Because the recipe or the formulation of how the Coca-Cola is made is not known to anyone, and they could not able to beat the taste of Coca-Cola till today. We have so many drinks like Sprite, Thumbs Up, and everything, but the taste which is going to be there for the Coke is not the same for the other. So that is called the USP. So no one can replicate Coca-Cola. So that is like threat of new entrants. Then bargaining power of supplier or a bargaining power of a buyer. So when I say bargaining power of a supplier, if you want to do a business, if you want to do a financial transaction with anyone, whether your supplier give you a raw material or a service at a best cost or not is very important. Then the bargaining power of a buyer. Now, if there is a 4 to 5 companies which are there in the market, which is similar to your product line or a services, then probably the bargaining power of a buyer will be the highest. Then how to overcome this? This is where the USP comes into the picture. Now, if you can offer the same product or a service with higher satisfaction, with a lower cost, then probably you'll be the market leader. Then always offering at a lower cost is not the strategy. So you need to think of a different way. How can you sell a product with a higher cost where your buyers can buy that? So here again, there are a number of concepts comes into the marketing, like brand positioning and brand design and everything. So I don't want to get into that. Then threat of substitutes. So if there is anyone, whether your product can be substituted easily or not is important. Now, if we can take an same example that I've discussed just a couple of minutes back, the Swiggy and Zomato. Now, if Zomato gives you a best price, people will book an order in Zomato. If Swiggy gives you a best price, people will book an order in Swiggy. Now, there is a threat of substitute here. If not Zomato, there is a Swiggy. Now, you need to make sure that if you want to sustain your idea to get a higher funding, there should not be any threat of substitution for your product or a service. So this is all about the Fortress 5 Force model. And centered to the industry, you need to analyze each and everything. And again, this analysis is very deeper, where it comes with the environmental factors, the policy changes of the political ecosystem, everything. And because of lots of many factors, these are not only one framework, but this is a widely framework which is used to evaluate your business model. Then SWOT. I'll keep it more simple and sweet. I don't want to drag it further long and long. Strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. Now, if you have an idea where it can crack a funding, what is your strengths? So you can say, someone said an academy. So if you want to launch another business which is in the line of an academy, then what is your strength? Probably you can say, hey, my industry collaborations are there with the top universities like Harvard and Stanford. I'm gonna give you a certificate. If you take this course, the certificate will be awarded by Harvard. So that is your strength. Then what is your weakness? So my course is pretty costlier. I mean, you can say that, hey, I'm giving a Stanford University certification. I'm gonna charge you 2 lakhs to 4 lakhs for an online course. So why it is a weakness? Some people looking at a price factor, they can go back. So possibly this can be your one weakness. Then what is an opportunity? Now, an academy has so many list of courses where everyone can record the videos and can upload it on the Unacademy and they can become a mentor. Now you can spot an opportunity here. Why can't you onboard industry professionals? When I say industry professionals, like our HOD sir, probably who are industry veterans in the terms of education. So why can't we onboard them onto our platform and make it more lucrative? Now this is an opportunity which Unacademy hasn't explored till yet. Possibly they are exploring in terms of industrial segmentation and everything, but not in terms of onboarding the core industry faculty. Now what could be the threats? Threats can be like, so if you are doing something wrong or something went wrong, the negative publicity which can spread around can be a threat for you. Then the changing of regulatory environment, possibly let's say, hey, we cannot recognize this certificate as a degree, can be a threat, because there are so many online courses where the university is offering and which are probably is not recognized as a part of a degree, but they can recognized as a part of professional certification. So there are many factors will be there, which is there. Now you need to do this SWOT analysis for your business to understand how can you position your business fundamentally strong in terms of finance. Now, before getting into the finance, you need to understand one thing. Unless if you don't build your startup legally strong, then the possibility of funding would be very less. and how can you build your startup legal foundation very strong. Let's see some slides here. What does legal foundation and structure here mean? The type of legal structures, entity registration process, how to choose a base location, how to select a legal expert. Now, how does it matter for a funding? If you are not a registered company under Ministry of Incorporation Act or Home Ministry or the Industrial Ministry of Government of India, then how can some organization or some people can trust you and can fund you? So legal structure in terms of registration processes is very important. Now, how? So type of legal structures are India like private limited company, limited liable company, one-person company, solo proprietor. Now, if you want to go for a funding, one-person company and solo proprietorship is not that apt, and people will not fund you also. Next, LLP. There are few groups out there which gonna fund LLP, but these are secured loans. When I say secured, you need to be, they'll be collecting a collateral against the loan which are providing you. So based on that, they will give you a funding. Now, private limited is an open legal structure where there are two directors will be there. And here, to tell you a concept in terms of finance or accounting, here private limited, you need to treat your entity as a different and your director as a different. Now you cannot mix both. Now here there are so many other concepts where you need to understand in terms of accounting. So easygoing concept and everything, because when someone sees your funding or when you're applying for funding, you need to be very solid at each of every of this term, because until unless if you don't understand the structure, you cannot operate your company. Then you need to understand the taxes. What is the corporate tax structure, or how the GST is being placed in India? The typical corporate tax structure is there for 15 to 30% per year based on your profits, and GST starts from 5% to 28% based on your industry slabs. For example, if you are eating at a restaurant, the foods and every beverages will charge you 5%. When you're sitting at a same food restaurant at a 5-star, they'll be charging you 18% because it's a luxury good. So when you're going to an 5-star itself, it shows that your spending power is there. That's why the tax structure will changes. Now, understanding the GST is important. Why? Because the product or a service which are selling in the market, that particular product or a service on which tax slab which is falling under. So you need to understand the taxes as well. Then here the IPR plays an important role in terms of funding. How? When you evaluate your company, so your idea is good, then you're made your prototype or MVP. So MVP stands for minimum viable product. So you're ready with it. Now, if we want to evaluate your idea now, how do you evaluate it? So based on idea or the market size? Definitely yes. But again, if you have an IPR, when I say IPR, it's the intellectual property rights. If your brand has been registered or trademarked of any of the classes, then possibly your brand or your valuation of your company will become from X to X1. Then if your idea is pretty good, so when I say pretty good, you're an inventor, you're not an innovator. Go for a patent, apply for a patent. You can protect your idea. So if you have a patent, then your valuation of your company goes from X1 to X2. So each and every factor in terms of funding is very important. where you need to understand how can you grow your value to communicate the same to an investor. How can you fund your product or a service is very important. Then financial planning. So before going for a funding, you need to make a strategy or a plan. If I get so much extra funding, so if you are trying to apply for a funding, hey, it can be an angel investor, it can be a friends and family, it can be a venture capitalist firm. Then how do you convince them that if you get an X funding, how do you distribute those X funds for what activities? So you need to be very clear at this way that, hey, if I receive this X funding, I'll distribute this funds for so and so activities. So that is nothing but the financial planning. Now, in this financial planning, how do you look at it? So financial planning comes with MIS and financial KPIs, then working capital management. So what is working capital management? Now, if you are running a product or a service, to manufacture that product or to provide that service into the market, you need to have some sort of cash in your hand to run that business. That is nothing but working capital. So this will be depend on day-to-day basis. Now, what is operating cycle? So you're performing your business for a whole month from 1st to 31st. Now, what is your operating cycle is nothing but from 1st to 31st, whatever you're performing your business, again, which the next month starts. So 1 month is one operating cycle, the other month is the other operating cycle. This is in terms of period. But again, the operating cycle in terms of goods and services also will be there. So when I say goods and services operating cycles, probably if you are launching your first batch of your products into the market and introducing into the market, selling them, getting that money could be one operating cycle. So there are different meanings that are different ways. How do you see it and everything? So let's not go into in depth. So see, whatever the slides that you're looking at it, when we want to discuss it, we can discuss it for 6 months or 1 year also, because those each and every concept is very important to understand. Being an entrepreneur, how do you elevate all those elements? Then planning and evaluating your long-term investments. Being a good entrepreneur, if you get a funding, not only spending those fundings is not important. How do you protect that money for your future needs is also important. Now, you need to evaluate those, how can you protect your funding, whether you can invest in FD or you want to do just a cash reserves, or you want to invest that money to get gains. Not apart from FD, you have other options like PMS, portfolio management services, you have mutual funds, then possibly you can see that you can also invest those money into the stock market to get a longer returns. So when you get funding, you should not think how should I spend this money. You should also think that how can I protect this money and how can I earn money out of that funding also is very important. Then understanding what is debt and equity is very important. So debt, you need to balance your debts and equity both hand in hand. If your debt is increasing, it shows that your profitability gonna decrease. Why? So when I say debt, you're taking some amount as a funding in terms of loan or anything by paying some interest. So whatever the profit that you are generating, that will be repaid to the profits. So when your debt's increasing, your profit will decrease. Now, when it comes, what if it is equity? Now, equity is something where if some person is getting onboarded by investing some money by taking some shares, how do this help you? So if someone is taking an equity and funding you, then you are getting a moral support in terms of a person who wants to support your ideas and ideology is one. And second, the money is pumping in here, not in terms of interest paying, or you will not pay any interest to him, but again, whatever the profits which comes from this funding, you will be distributing your profits, whatever the equity that you have been diluted. So that is how the debt and equity comes into the picture. We'll discuss more and more in coming slides. Then you need to understand the taxation. So if I'm on the so-and-so profit, or if I'm done so-and-so the operating cycle here, what is the goods or the services that I've sold? So if I've sold this much, what is the returns that I'm getting in terms of profit, and what are the taxes that have been collected in terms of GST, and how should I manage those funds? So what is the period that should need to pay back to the government in terms of taxes? So this thing you have to be at a fundamentally strong. Then financial planning. In finance planning, there are two things you need to understand, the couple of elements called the cost and the break-even point. So what is the break-even point? Now you have induced your X money. So to get back that X money from the operations, whatever you're doing, what is the time period that is taking for you to put that X money back is nothing but a break-even point. Then cost changes and marginal safety operating cycle. So the margin of safe operating cycle is nothing but, so to keep your operating cycle go on and on, you need to plan some sort of margin, where if one operating cycle completes, apart from what is the cost that is being incurred to manufacture that particular product or to deliver that service, you need to marginalize that and take out some money to plan your next cycles. So the cost changes, you need to be very thorough, because if you can see, for example, let's take an example that now you started a business which is similar to Uber and Ola. Now what happens is, at a particular point of time, the price of diesel or petrol was pretty less. Possibly the diesel cost was around 62 or something till 2019, sorry 20 also, at the COVID time. Now if you can see the same diesel cost today, it is close to 100 rupees, 98 or 99 rupees. Now if you are charging 10 rupees in 2019, where the 60 rupees, 62 rupees of your diesel, and if you're gonna charge the same 10 rupees where the diesel price is 98, now what is the cost change that you're occurring? Your operating cycle increases, then you're forced to increase the price of that particular product or a delivery of service, because there are so many external factors which is costing you to increase those prices. Then fundraising and valuation. Now let's come to the topic, how do you raise funds and how do you evaluate your company? So valuation of the company, I've already discussed, your business idea, then target position, size of the market, then how do you position, the legal structure, private limited, then patents, trademarks, the brands, and how do you can protect this and everything. So valuation is all the combination of your idea, product, minimum viable product, and this. Once your product is ready, now how do you want to start your business exactly? How do you want to raise your funds? Now debt versus equity. So I've given an example of debt and equity in the last couple of slides also. Now what is debt and what is equity? So in terms of raising funds, in terms of debt, is something nothing but you're applying for a loan to start your business. Now how do you apply a loan? Either through banks, commercial financial institutions, NBFCs, or private traders. Now here you need to understand one thing. there'll be secured and unsecured. We're gonna discuss and further this. And equity is nothing but you're inviting someone to take the share of your company against some sort of investment. So that is nothing but equity. Now, here there's an interesting graph that you need to observe here. When you can see a startup to an early stage or a growth stage or maturity stage, if you can see this red line which is starting from here, the actual how the business cycle has to go on. But if you can see here, without funding or something, startups like this in early stages, when it goes to the growth stage, they will lose out all of their money in terms of investments. Then there'll be less cash flows, so probably there'll be a decline here. So if your product or a service is fundamentally strong, they can regain it and go further. Now this, if you can see this graph, it will take you years to build an empire. Possibly at those times, like Reliance or Tata groups, how they have been started. Now not the same case or scenario at the present days, because there was intense competition into the market. If you launch a product or a service today, tomorrow someone from China can copy it and launch the same product into the market. Now this is how you need to understand the threat of new entrants and substitutes. If you don't have that solid backup of in terms of funding, then I'm very sorry to say this, you cannot sustain in the market, at least to your profitability. You'll decline your product at an early stage only. You don't reach to that mature or the growth stage. At an early stage only, you'll get a decline into the market and you'll exit from the market. Now, debt sources. So secured and unsecured, I was talking about from last 4 to 5 minutes. Now, what is secured and unsecured? Now, why do a bank trust your idea? Banks doesn't want your futuristic statements. They want to do their own business. Like NBFCs are nothing but non-banking financial institutions or finance trade organizations or commercial companies. All of the companies which I've listed here, they'll do the business based on profit motto. So you pay me interest, I'll give you a loan. So okay, now let's consider if you're ready to pay interest and you want to avail that loan. Now again, banks doesn't accept in that way. Whether you're gonna repay that loan or not, what is the guarantee that banks has? There's no guarantee. Now what banks they do is they'll give you a secured loan. What is meant by secured loan? Secured loan is nothing but they'll take a collateral. When I say collateral, okay, you put your house or your property or land into the bank. Then based on that valuation, they, for example, if your house is costing 1 crore rupee, they'll give you 80 lakhs of loan, where with the interest rate of 8 to 16 or 18% also. Why this tax slab from 18 to 16%? If it is a secured loan, the interest rate is 8%. Now, if it is unsecured loan, what is meant by unsecured loan? Unsecured loan is nothing but without any collateral. I mean, without any the property or something, they will be offering you a loan based on your presentation or idea, whatever the cash flows that you have been projecting to that particular institution. Now, in that way, how do they take a call? Now, if they see that your idea is good and everything, but most of the institutions, they don't fund early stage startups or a seed funding, because the seed funding, that in terms of debt, you don't get any seed funding. I mean, see, in rare and exceptional cases you might get it, but in this thing you cannot get it. To get those fundings, at least you need to show them that you're doing some sort of business. how do you show that you're doing a business? The receivables or the goods that you have been sold into the market, what is the profit margin that you have been generated, what is your cash flow statements, what is your balance sheet, it has been audited or not. Okay, now if you're doing a business of 30 to 40 lakhs, let's consider, then possibly 20 to 25% they can give you an unsecured loan around 5 to 10 lakhs, not more than that. So in that way also, if you are gonna take that 5 to 10 lakhs, it will be a high rate of interest. You're gonna pay them 16 to 18% in terms of interest. So if you want to start a startup, I would say debt sources are really burn your pocket. Now, if you don't have backup in terms of property or something, I would say that don't go for any debt sources. So it will burn your pocket and you end up in paying interest. It can be EMI, it can be partial payment, anything. Then coming to the equity sources, I've already told you what is an equity. Equity is nothing but someone takes your shares of your company. So let's say you have started a company with 100% of shares. There are 2 directors. So 50% for A director, 50% for B director. Now if third one comes, so now it's 100%. What is your valuation of your company? Let's say you have started this company with 1 lakh, with whatever the business that you have generated or expect to generate. Let's say your expected business is 10 lakhs. Now your valuation of company is not 1 lakh, your valuation of company is 10 lakhs. Now if you want to dilute your share of your for 10 lakhs, you can say that, hey boss, the present valuation what I'm thinking is 10 lakhs. This is my futuristic projections based on discounted cash flow. Now invest 5 lakhs for 20% of stake. Okay, so how do you arrive at this 5 lakhs with 20% of stake is, it's again big calculation. I'll show you an example after the slides. How do you make the project report in terms of generating the funding and everything? I'll show you a couple of examples and ready-made pictures. So this is about equity. Now in equity sourcings, at a early stage or a starting stage, the bootstrap or the crowdfunding is one of the best and easiest sources. When I say bootstrap, what is bootstrap? So bootstrap funding is nothing but you ask your father, mother, your siblings, or possibly your relatives who can fund your startup based on your capability. So that is nothing but bootstrapping. So the funds which are collected from friends and families are nothing but bootstrap. Now what is about crowdfunding? Crowdfunding is nothing but, so for example, in bootstrap only known friends will invest in you. But if you want to spread your wings more, how can you do a crowdfunding? Let's say, okay, your MBA class strength, let's assume it's 60 people. Now, if you want to raise a funding of 1 lakh, you can ask your entire class to fund your project for 1,000 rupees or anything, or possibly 1,500 rupees. So that 1,500 will become 1 lakh. You'll be allocating some shares to them in terms of crowdfunding. So how do you do that? For example, if someone is putting 1,500, you can possibly say you can give a half a share. So that is a 0.5% of share. Now let's take 60 people are there. You're allocating 0.5% of share to each and every one. Then the total shares that you're diluting is 30%. Still the 70% of shares will stay with you. Now you have collected a 1 lakh rupee with 30% of stake for the crowdfunders. Then the 70% you are holding. Then whatever the business is that you are generating on this 1 lakh rupee, you'll be only paying 30% to your funders who are giving you a funding, and remaining 70% is what you're gonna do. So that is about crowdfunding. Then angel funding is nothing but, so the name itself shows that it's an angel who comes to fulfill your wishes. So what is your wish? Your wish is funding. You want to grow big like Facebook or Amazon or Twitter or some X company. Now, angel funders are the one who are a one guy. So angel investors are mainly our individual investors who is having a lump sum amount in crores. They'll be investing in the startups. So seed funding and pre-series A early stage funding will be given by the angel investors. So angel investors, they'll believe in your idea. They think that this idea will fetch in the market and they can see some traction in the future. Based on that, they'll invest money into your company. So now they'll take stakes in your company. So this stake is not 20% or 30%. Sometimes they can demand for 50% of stakes in your company also. So angel funding, they'll fund you, but at the early stages, you need to be ready to dilute those funding as well. And possibly the seed funding and pre-series A starts from 30 lakhs. It will go up to 2.5 crores also sometimes. Then coming to venture capital funding. So what is that? Venture capital funding. Venture capital is a firm or a registered body who will pool that money from different individual investors, and they'll make a corpus. Out of that corpus, entrepreneurs can pitch their ideas to the VCs. So VCs can evaluate those ideas and different parameters based on the project report what they have submitted, and they'll give the funding based on the facts and figures what is available with them. So VC funding is not possible at an early stage or a seed level. So you need to start your company. It need to show some traction and it need to generate some business. Based on that only you will get a VC funding. You will not get VC funding before starting a business, or VC funding will not give for ideas. So if you are having idea, you are not implemented it, VC funding is not the right one. So you can approach to angel investors. So there are different networks which are there in Hyderabad. So I can say one famous name in terms of angel investors are Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. He is a very known guy in the Indian startup ecosystem, and we have many other people who are based out of Hyderabad also who do angel funding, like Srikant Boyapati is there, Renuka Bodda is there, and Rana Daggupati also invest a lot of seed funding into the startups, and Nagarjuna, the film actor, is also investing into the startups. So there are many other people, and you will be having different platforms to interact with all of them. So in venture capital funding, there are few companies in India called Sequoia, Axel, Lightspeed, Saif Partners, Nexus, Matrix, and Calorie Capital. So here the typically the Series A, Series B, Series C funding starts from, Series A starts from 7 crores to 21 crores. Series B funding starts from 36 crores to 70 crores. Series C funding starts from 70 crores to 200 crores. Series D funding starts from 200 crores to 700 crores. So this is about the Series A, Series B, and Series C and Series D. When you reach Series C itself, you'll become a unicorn. Now, what is meant by unicorn? Unicorn is the company who is having the largest market capitalization. So falls under the unicorn segment. Now, here you have gone through all of these stages. What is the last stage of funding? Last stage of funding is nothing but IPO. So I was telling about Zomato IPO before starting the slides. So IPO is nothing but initial public offering. Now you find all of your ways of funding. Now how do you raise money? Now you raise your money from the capital markets. What is capital markets? Capital markets are nothing but the BSE or the NSE, the stocks exchange which is there. So if you are very strong at your location, your geography, so if your presence is there across the globe, you can list your company in all stock exchanges like Nikkei. Nikkei is for the China, then BSE, NSE for India, Nasdaq for USA. So these are the forms where you can do it. Now, before going to IPO or something, your balance sheets, your operating cycle, you need to be very, very strong. Now, business planning and build an effective business plans and ventures. So if you get funding and everything, how do you plan it? So business plan ka elements है idea, promoters, USP, target audience, price structure, cash flow and operating cycle, operating expenses. Then canvas model. So this is how you can pitch your idea to an investor. So it will give you a holistic view what your entire idea is all about. So what is your idea, implementation, management team, what is your unique value proposition, what is the unfair advantage, what is the market size which can tap your market, who is your customer, target customers, then what is the revenue streams and cost structure. So this is called canvas business model. This is how you can make your idea split into different ways and you can project into the market. Now these are the cash flow statements that you need to project to your investor when you pitch for any of this. So this is one example, but there are many other models which I can show you coming from, and you need to show them the numbers. How do you grow? So if you have so much churn rate, how much is the time break even point, and how much the growth that you can see. So you need to give them the 3 growth points basically. So optimistic, pessimistic, and neutral. So these are the 3 levels that you need to focus on. Then choosing the right team and the right co-founder is important, because if you don't have the right team, if you have funding also, you cannot do anything. Then GTM is nothing but go to market. You have right funding on your hand, you need to plan your activities, you need to get into the market, make some noise, gain traction, grow your business. So GTM has different factors: advertising, branding, so above the line, below the line, sales team, distribution network, after sales support, everything. And what corporates are looking for, the corporate leadership basically. So T leadership is one of the prominent leaderships are there in the market. So and why, what is called T-shaped leadership? Now investors also looking for not one person who can handle one thing. They're looking for the person need to have multiple knowledges and he need to handle multiple things. So people now the present market is looking for there's one classic proverb is there: jack of all trades, master of none. Now people are looking for jack of all trades, master of none. Now you need to handle everything. So you need to have the depth of understanding of management and the width of your functional groups. Then only you can become a T-shaped leader. So this is how the people also looking at. And investors are very keen about their promoters, who will be the future CEOs of the companies. So this is all about the funding options and the idea and business this thing. So before taking the questions, I'll show you a couple of examples of the pitch presentations. So this is how you need to make it fundamentally strong. This is one of the projects that I've done. So I've pitched it for the investors and everything. So you need to give them what is your idea is all about. You need to do your market research, and you need to tell them what is the growth perspective and how you are picking and everything. Then what is the methodology that you follow? Then you need to collect the data from the market and you need to check for it. You need to do analysis. So market research again itself is a big segment. You need to tell them from the figures. So if you're telling an idea over the air, it doesn't work. You need to be very practical in terms of number crunching and exposing them to the numbers. So this is the kind of report that generally market research report for an ideas. And so this is how the valuation report look like for a startups. So what is your company and summaries is all about, what is the opportunity, what the competitors right now, what is the current mode of operations. So you need to write about the industry, then what is the valuation that you bring. So this we have used a discounted cash flow method. So for example, if we start our business in 2021, what could be the profits that we can see in 2025? This is a 5-year plan. So this is called discounted cash flow with LTG. This is a, like LTG is nothing but long-term growth. This is discounted cash flow. So the pre-money valuation is 7 crores for next 5 years. Then in a long-term growth, so this is long-term boleto forever. Then company growth is 20 crores. Now you need to also do a low bond and high bond valuations. Why? Because there will be unfavorable conditions like corona or something. So you need to anticipate those things and also you need to do it. And you need to give them the figures. So this is the profit and loss statement that you need to project for a funding. So you need to discuss about PAT, EBITDA margins, then rate of taxes and everything. Then current funding round, how much you are expecting them and what is the percentage that you want to dilute. So the particular company is looking for 1.5 crores. So they're ready to dilute 20% of them. So how do you choose this 20%? Now, the current funding is some 7 crores. Out of 7 crores, if you want to dilute 1.5 crores, so the possible dilution would be 20%. Now, this is pre-money valuation. What could be the post-money valuation? So if you dilute the 20%, so this 1.5 crore will be added to this and it will become 8.8 crores. So it is roughly around 9 crore valuation. So how do you use these funds? So you can use these funds for sales and marketing, operations, capital expenditure, inventory, product R&D, and research. So you can discuss about the split, how you can do it. Then qualitative traits. Who are the founding team? What is the average of the founding team? What is the average experience they're put together? Whether they have the strong background in terms of management or not. So how the markets is there? What is TAM and SAM will be there? TAM is nothing but total addressable market. SAM is nothing but sizable addressable market. Then what is the protection? So whether your idea is patented or not, whether you have done your trademarks or not. So that's the product. So then how about competition at the same level or not? Yes or no? So if you are rolling out a product, what's those products? So what is the valuation interpretation? So forecasted values, you can show them. Then how the EBITDA margins are going down and everything. So this is how the typical report will look like. And I'll show you the pitch presentation also. So this is how the pitch presentation will look like. So what's your company is all about? What's the problem statement that you are solving? Then how the food industry, the pet food industry is now the present market. and what is the industry facts that you're gonna discuss. Then how the present the now the businesses are pre-COVID and post-COVID. So what is the COVID factors that infected your business? So what is the total market size? Now here my target audience are pet animal lovers and other people. What is the retail size that you can look after? What is the market segmentation? How you will derive it in terms of US and India? So completely, how can you do it? Is there any regulation? How and what is the distribution channels that you can target for? What is the facts? Then product launch analysis. If there are any products which have launched in the market, how they are doing. So which segment they are doing and everything. So these are the some few facts and figures. So you can discuss about analysis of each and every element. Then you can talk about what is your business idea is all about. Then you can say the mode of implementation. How do you implement this? It can be e-commerce. So this is a few things that my business idea is all about, where I'm trying to work on different turn. Then what is your idea is so special about? How do you rate it and how do you go about it? So if you're launching a product, how the products will look like. So these are my products and how it will look like. Then what are the different treats that you're going to manufacture for different segmentation, how the packaging and what kind of treats that you're offering and everything. Then different product segmentation and its futures, and again products is all about. So these are the few photo shoots that we have done for our company and which is going to be launched in couple of months. So these are the we have made these products, we have manufactured these products. So this is one of its kind of first dog sari in India, dog printed sari in India. So these are the merchandise for pet parents. So these are the grooming box, user engagement model. So this is one of the patented product that I'm working on, and how my phase will be divided. So if I'm gonna launch, what is the phase wise manner, the growth map that I want to show. So this is I've already shown you in the presentation how you need to look after. Then what is the ask, how much you're asking. So how about what about the promoters? So what are the credentials? I've told about you need to be very strong at your legal and foundational level. So this is how you can project your legality part. Then how you promote your campaign if your product. So you need to tell that these are the sample campaigns that how I'm targeting about. So this is about. I'm done. If you have any questions, I'll take it for next 10-15 minutes. I hope you got very good insights on my experiences. So if you have anything, 24/7 available over LinkedIn and other online platforms. You can get in touch with me. Whatever the possible help that I can do, I can help you all people in terms of your entrepreneurial journey. And we have an NGO called Managers Without Borders. So this community is all about giving back to the society. So we help entrepreneurs in terms of getting funding and everything. So if anyone wants to pursue your entrepreneurial journey, you can just get in touch. I can do whatever possible thing that I can do for you. And don't forget, I am also alumni of Guru Nanak Institutions. Thank you.
Any questions from participants? Deepika ma'am, shall we conclude?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, excellent presentation, Rakesh sir. Thank you very much for sparing your valuable time on this holiday to deliver your so valuable message on finance aspects and sharing your experience too. I also thank all the participants for attending this session and hope for this session would be advantageous and enhance your knowledge in finance. So thanks to one and all, and have a nice day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Can I
Thank
have
you,
a
Rakesh,
question
sir.
here, sir?
Someone wants to ask something.
Yeah, can I raise my
Anybody
question
wants
here,
to
sir?
ask?
Thank you for this opportunity, sir.
It is
Okay,
Not
Shraddha,
sir.
sir.
audible,
Can I
please.
have
Not getting to please. Please loudly.
Yeah, this is Sharda from Coimbatore, sir. It was a very informative session and very, what to say, I'm a person not from, I'm a person not from a commerce stream, from a science stream, but having ideas of, for business. And this has given me a very good, what to say, knowledge about it. And how is it that my ideas can be turned into a business? Because when you say all about the other parts, you know, like making it as a projection or all, that was that was all that I had to hear, but it was all Greek and Latin for me. If that I have to execute it all, I can just share my idea, and that I expect that that should be blown and that should be taken to the next level. If that is possible, I would be very happy here. And uh, my background is education. Share my ideas only regarding education.
Okay, okay.
Thank you, ma'am, sir, for your valuable message, feedback.
So I'm putting
Okay.
down my email ID into the chat box.
Here present and chat box. Okay. Your mail ID is in the chat box. Am I right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I found. Yeah, I'll just contact you, Mr. Gandhala.
Thank you, ma'am. Anytime.
Okay. Anyone wants to talk to our speaker? Okay, Rakesh, sir, so thank you very much. So we can conclude now.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your valuable information.